From the Greensboro Coliseum in Greensboro, North Carolina, this is TarHeelIllustrated.com. I'm THI staff writer Jacob Turner, and alongside me, as he usually is, THI publisher Andrew Jones. Andrew, about 45 minutes ago to an hour, we saw Carolina coming here, first round of the ACC Tournament, and beat Virginia Tech 78-56. Big win for the Tar Heels. AJ, first thing we're going to jump into about tonight's performance. I think for me it was one of the best performances I've seen from a Carolina team this season. Carolina's obviously been playing better over recent weeks, barring that Duke game where they had some good stretches and some pretty bad stretches as well. But tonight against Virginia Tech, thought Carolina looked pretty good. I know Jenna, our photographer, said the same thing. Had to shout her out. I don't think we ever shouted her out in the video before.
Jenna Miller, our photographer.
Yeah. She even said that too. So she put that thought in my head, and I was like, yeah, you might be right on that. I thought
Dina
Carolina...
King shout-outs in the next video.
I did tell her those. You got to take it with a pinch of salt, because coming in this game, I tweeted a few times, Virginia Tech had won 2 games since they beat Carolina on January 22nd. So this isn't a great team, but still, Carolina coming out with a big victory. First thing we have to focus on, AJ, is that second half. Carolina came out fire in the second half. 36-17 to start, outscoring them. Well, that took them up to a 25-point lead. So, AJ, that stretch was huge. Was they up by 6 at halftime, I think?
32-26.
They had done some nice things. I think they got up by 10 or 12 at one point. And then Virginia, I think Landers Nolly hit a few shots, kind of got hot at the end of the first half, which allowed Virginia Tech to cut it to 6 at the break. But Carolina came out firing. Virginia Tech was pretty ice cold from the floor all night, particularly in that second half stretch. But AJ, that second half really helped propel Carolina to a victory.
And they did it on both ends of the floor. I know Roy said afterward that Virginia Tech missed a lot of shots, and I asked Cole afterward about what Carolina did defensively. Virginia Tech had scored on 7 of its first 25 possessions of the second half. That's not just missing shots.
No, that's
I know that there's a standard, and I think it's kind of good if you're a fan and you want to try to gauge what your team's mindset is right now. When they hold a team to 18 out of 25 possessions without scoring, they're saying, they just missed shots. Because it's telling me that their standard's higher on that end of the floor. They did do some good things. They had 2 shot clock violations that they forced tonight. There was one sequence where B-Rob ended up with the loose ball on the floor right in front of me that was as intense a defensive possession as they had all night long. So it was there, and that was a big part of it. But they also were really smooth offensively in the second half. The first half, a lot of dribbling. A lot of dribbling.
Not a lot of passing.
They weren't very fluid. There was some really bad spacing in segments, and they only had 32 points, which times 2 is 64 points. They think, they need to score more than 64 points to advance in this tournament. Unless they play the Wahoos later on in the tournament, they need to be better. They need to be more efficient offensively. They got Garrison Brooks involved.
A
he
lot
had
more
1 field goal in the first half. He had 5 in the second half. He had 2 slips for dunks. He had a couple of buckets that were just Garrison buckets. We should start just calling them Garrison buckets. I thought Leakey made a couple of right place at the right place at the right time plays. Cole Anthony was able to get a couple of buckets in the second half. Armando Baycott played really well during this stretch. He was really big on the glass during that stretch as well. So 36-17, they did it on both ends of the court. They went up 25, and what capped the run was the next point we're going to talk about, a guy who was on fire from 3 in the second half in this game.
It's a heck of a segue, Andrew. Obviously, we're talking about Brandon Robinson, finished with 17 points, 5 for 6 from 3. He had, 9 points in a 151 stretch that helped push that Carolina lead to 25, like he mentioned. But B-Rob was huge. Coming in, a little fun fact for y'all, I'm actually writing a sidebar, so make sure y'all read that. That might be out a little bit after this video comes out, but it'll be out tonight at some point. Coming in this game, Brandon Robinson in 8 previous ACC tournament games has scored 16 points, a total of 16 points. Had 17 tonight, so Brandon Robinson was huge in that stretch and helping Carolina push that lead. And once he hit those 3 threes, there was no way back for Virginia Tech, really.
No, and the Hokies called a timeout. It was a 25-point game. I can't remember exactly how much time it was.
Got loud in here too.
It was really loud.
Really loud.
And I'll tell you what. Don't ask me. I have no idea how many of these I've seen. It's my 23rd,
I was going to ask you at the end.
It's my 23rd ACC tournament, but I've seen Carolina come in here as a 1 or 2 or sometimes even a 3 seed and look really good in stretches in in its opening game and put a team away that it should put away. They looked like that tonight.
It's kind of vintage.
And a big part of that was a guy like B-Rob, a senior, stepping up and doing what seniors are supposed to do in March. And he delivered the dagger. And Cole even said that was the nail in the coffin. He said he could see in Virginia Tech's body language when those 3s went through that they knew the game was over. Their season was over, and Carolina was good advance to play another night. And it's really cool to see a guy like B-Rob have that kind of night here in this building, senior year, giving his team one more opportunity to play a game. and they do need to win, obviously.
Yep.
And he did it in a year where so many crazy things have happened, and they even lost Keeling for a while.
Oh no, yeah.
But B-Rob was the guy. If you're looking for feel-good stories,
There's
and
one for
sports
you,
does deliver us the feel-good story
yeah.
a lot. If you were looking for feel-good stories, B-Rob hitting those threes in that sequence and the reaction of his teammates when he hit those threes is a feel-good story. The season hasn't given this team a lot of those, but they had one tonight, and B-Rob was a big part of it.
Obviously, Carolina with the win, advancing to play Syracuse tomorrow night at 9 o'clock. 9 o'clock. I think all the Carolina games,
about 9:30,
if they keep winning, all the Carolina's games are going to be 9 or after, like you mentioned. But they live to play another day. Obviously, Carolina, I don't know, how many games has Carolina beat Syracuse? Like 8 or 9 now? Yeah, 8 games. So I guess Carolina might be looking forward, at least Roy Williams might be looking forward to playing against that 2-3 zone. He seems to exploit it every time, but
you don't know coaches well enough, my friend. He's probably terrified. The law of averages, 8 in a row.
Oh yeah, true.
No way they're going to win. Yeah, you know
a good point.
Guys are.
It's got to come back and equal at some point. But
to your point, go ahead.
Syracuse tomorrow night. Carolina obviously beat them earlier this year, a couple weeks ago. You were at that game. I think probably one of Carolina's better performances this season, especially in a hostile environment like that. But live to play another day, and at this point, that's all you can really do if you're talking about
25 assists on 33 baskets at the Carrier Dome.
You have to do that again.
And look, they know how to exploit the weak spots in Syracuse's zone. There are weak spots, and they get backside stuff against the zone. They get stuff at the rim. There were a couple alley-oops that Cole threw to Garrison in that game that really started opening things up. And when they do all that stuff inside the zone, they know how to use that space. When you have a big like Garrison who can register a few assists and pass the ball, it makes it a lot easier. And then if you're hitting threes, the combination is lethal. And Carolina's done that against Syracuse in the past. They did it. They've done it up there the last couple of times they played up there. They did it in the Final Four a few years ago. They've done it in Chapel Hill. Tomorrow they're going to have to do it in Greensboro. And law of averages would suggest maybe they don't do it because Syracuse is not a bad team, and maybe Syracuse is comparable or a better team than UNC.
A little fresher too.
Certainly through the regular season, I think Syracuse probably proved a little bit better than UNC.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
But this is a good matchup for Carolina. When I saw the bracket, I said, okay, Virginia Tech, well, they didn't have B. Robert Cole. Virginia Tech's not playing well. No. Carolina should pound them on the glass, and they did do that tonight. They should advance. Syracuse, well, I mean, the way Syracuse plays, I think, plays to the Carolina's strengths. So they should advance to Thursday. We don't want to get ahead of ourselves, but I think it's a good matchup. And I think this Carolina team, with the way it's been shooting the ball for the most part for the last 3 weeks, 2.5 weeks,
it's been better.
Tar Heels have an excellent chance to pick up win number 15 and move on to Thursday's quarterfinals against Louisville, a team that they only played once this year and did not have Garrison Brooks. But we'll hit on that tomorrow night if it's worth hitting on.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how things develop tomorrow night. But obviously, Carolina facing Louisville, or not Louisville, excuse me. I'm thinking ahead. Syracuse tomorrow night at 9 p.m. Like you said, it'll probably be a little bit later than that.
Send the text, the emails to him. If Carolina loses, I just
jinxed it right there. That was all on me. I'll get crap on Twitter all night if they lose tomorrow night. But Carolina wins tonight, 78-56 over Virginia Tech. For CharlieIllustrated.com, I've been Jacob Turner. He's been Andrew Jones. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like it, be sure to share it, and we'll see you guys tomorrow night. Thanks.